What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is DJ, but everyone calls me Rehabbing High Heels. Before we get started, would you mind, if you could, hit the subscription button, leave plenty of comments. The more comments you leave, the more information I can provide. Definitely hit that notification and those likes. So let's get started on part 2 of this series on how to be a phenomenal, amazing wholesaler. We will be talking about 2 topics on today's part 2 series, which is the MAO, maximum allowable offer, as well your contracts, your purchase contract and your assignment contract. I know you want to know what are the difference, how do we fill them out, what question we need to put on there, and much, much more. So let's talk about maximum allowable offer. What is it? How we figure that out? I'm glad you asked. Maximum allowable offer is the maximum amount that you can offer your motivated seller once you find out 1, your ARV, 2, your wholesale fee, 3, the estimate of cost repairs, and the last thing will be the meat and potatoes. How much we're going to give to the maximum. If you stay to the end, of course, I'm going to give you something special that you will definitely use as a wholesaler. All right, so let me pull up my, here's a disclaimer. I am not a real estate agent. I am not a real estate agent. So I am a wholesaler who have interest on paper. Ding, paper. So what I'm going to explain about our 1-page contract is that whatever is on the real estate agent's contract, my attorney has condensed all 9 pages onto 1 page. So if you would like to get this universal contract, please submit it over to your real estate attorney to make sure that it's compatible in your state. All right. So what I'm going to go ahead and give you is what we do here in Houston or in the state of Texas. So don't mind me looking up and down. I promise you I will have a screenshot as well, give you this contract for free. As well, your assignment contract for free. Dang it, I told you to give. All right, well now you know. So what I use is called a standard real estate purchase sales contract. 1 page. Again, this is what I use in the state of Texas. So once I give this out to everyone on the universe of YouTube, please, please, please make sure you submit this to your real estate attorney. On this contract, we want to make sure that whenever we are presenting a contract to the motivated seller, that they don't hesitate and have to rethink and think things through. That's why we end up condensing 9 pages here in the state of Texas to 1 page so that it's really quick and swift. It is so important to go ahead and have majority of this information. So we're going to go ahead and go line by line on what is on this 1-page contract, how to properly fill out this contract, and if there's anything like special provisions that need to be added, make sure it's on this contract. If it's not written down, it does not exist. All right. So on the first line, it says to be known, the undersigned, which is the buyer, which is you. Now, if you have your LLC, a S Corp, sometimes if you have a DBA or just yourself, put your name there. And it says, and or assigned agreed to purchase from the seller. The seller first and last name is imperative. The estate holder, if it's a probate, if it's a REO, put all that information there, okay? And the seller agrees to sell real estate known as the physical address, like 123 Main Street, Houston, Texas, 77001. All right. in the county of, which is very important. So for records, for deeds, and for any liens, it will match what is out there in well, I'm going to say Harris County, but in the county that you are really operating in. Property legal description. For instance, here in Houston, we have to do the subdivision. If there's a section, like for instance, I stay in Riverside Terrace, Section 1, Block 3, Lot 2. I can't believe I'm giving you where I live, but you'll figure it out. But that's important. It has to match what is out there in the county, so they will identify that the property that you're selling or have an interest in matches the contract that the seller and yourself are signing. As well, the total price purchase. And we'll talk about that regarding the maximum allowable offer. That's the offer amount that you came up with and your motivated seller agreed to, and you put that on that line. Now I have verbiage. It says this contract is conditional upon the following terms. 1, the contract is further subject to foundation or other inspection of the property. We have a right to have an inspector to come out. Sometimes certain states will require an inspection before we have a complete signed contract. 2, said property is to be sold free and clear of all encumbrancy by good and remarkable title with full possession to said property available to the buyer at date of closing. 3, the closing shall acquire on or before. Now here's what I do. Usually I hold the property 45 to 60 days. Only because there's really a reason, a method to my madness. If you want to know more in detail of why I have it for 45 days and not 7 or 14 days, definitely look into the description box and you'll get more in detail about why I hold it that long. So let's just use a safe number and say 14 days. So the closing shall occur on or before 14 days at the buyer's title company, or attorney's office, unless such other time and place shall be agreed upon. I actually wholesale and close at a Starbucks, at a hotel room, a grandmother's kitchen, you name it, it's been closed, okay? So you don't have to be in a traditional title office, but if, let's say, you're working with a motivated seller that can't leave their home, then you can actually have all of these documents sent over to them and sign it right in front of them at their house. It's like a little convenience, and it's really nice. Number 4, other terms. Buyer to pay all closing costs except taxes. That is correct. We offer that little niche to our motivated seller because here's the thing. They want to know what they're taking away instead of have to always figure out the numbers on closing costs. If you eliminate that fear or concern, it's really helped them to be sold upon. So it will say, look, don't even worry about the title of any closing costs. We'll pay for it. And all we do is we pass on the closing costs to our end buyer, okay? Closing costs also include $250 coordination fee. And that, like I said, there's more in detail of what a coordination fee is and what it entails. But I'm just going to run down the contract, all right? Seller to provide buyer with access to the property upon acceptance of contract. Once this contract has been signed, now it's in your right and your possession to put a lockbox on there to get a copy of the key. Sometimes you might come across a motivated seller and say, look, I don't feel comfortable. A lot of people coming in my house. Can we schedule times and dates? Sure, not a problem. You just notify your end buyer that information, or you can do several different marketing tricks, which, like I said, I can show you on a later video. All right. The contract expires at midnight on, so today, for instance, is June 30th. Man, we're halfway out of 2020. I wouldn't say 2020. Jeez. 2019. I'm already in 2020 already. All right, Lord. Let's go back. So in June 30th, 2019, all right, if not signed and returned by seller, all right. So we want to at least give them 3 days to mull over it. But to be honest, once they sign, that's it. And we're moving forward, all right? We don't want to have motivated sellers cold feet. We want them to be hot, want to be ready, whatever we need to do to close this wholesale deal, bada bing, bada boom, all right? Number 6, buyer has the right to market the property as seen fit, including internet, MLS, and to partners, all right? That's also a disclaimer. So if they see their property on the MLS, they went ahead and allow us to put that information out there as the wholesale fee. All right. As well, if we were going to market out there to find other end buyers besides the buyer list that we have already acquired, we have the right to do so. All right. Number 7, special provision. So let's say you see a refrigerator, a stove, dishwasher, and you want to know, are you planning on taking these items with you, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller? If they say no, it's very imperative that you put it in the special provision so there won't be any confusion. I actually wholesale a deal with a 1962 Corvette, and I was like, dang, I should have separated that, but I didn't. That was like a little perk to wholesaling the property, as well, kill 2 birds, 1 stone. And that was for me to be very creative. Also, in the special provision, let's say that they actually live at this state of this homestead, you can actually put in the special provision, once sold, motivated seller needs X amount of time to move out of the property. So it's out of an agreement that you have set up with the motivated seller. You definitely need to let your buyer know, your end buyer know, hey, on this particular day, we still need more time to move them out of their things and get a mover or whatever, okay? And that's it. Once he or she, the motivated seller, is pretty much content with the short-term agreement, all you have to do is, as a buyer, you sign, date, print, email, your address, which usually I use a UPS address, as well. The seller, sign, date, print, email, address, and voila, that's it. It's just that simple. Like, we don't have to overthink what we need on a wholesale contract, but it's very important that you cross your T's and dot your I's and communicate with your real estate attorney to make sure that you're in standing or in compliance in your state, okay? So now let's talk about my favorite part, your assignment contract. The key to assigning your contract is the and or assign. All right. So on here, I have my company, Rehabbing High Heels, assigned to, which is my end buyer, 24/7 home buyers, the purchase contract by and between Rehabbing High Heels and the owner. Ding, ding, ding. You got to make sure that that's in the verbiage, okay? On the real property address, 123 Main Street, Houston, Texas, 77001, or whatever address that, you know, the property is assigned to. For the assignment amount of, this is what you put. One, the maximum allowable offer, which is your end buyer, your maximum allowable offer plus your wholesale fee is added. So that is the cost that your assignment contract is putting down. So let's say you have the motivated seller agreed to selling it to you for $45 and you end up adding 10 on top of it. In that line, you put $55,000. Keep it real simple. All right. New buyer hereby agrees to pay the original buyer, moi, a non-refundable earnest money in the amount of, now this varies. I usually do $2,500 to $3,000 whenever I work with an end buyer and inform them this is non-refundable. Now, if you have a property that is $1 million, you put a $10,000 assignment, I mean a non-refundable earnest, because that's actually part of your money. You can get a small advancement up front before it even close. And if it doesn't close, you have the contract as well. You still have that 25 or whatever amount that you want to put out there on your contract. All right, so I'm gonna put $2,500 earnest money to be credited towards the agreement upon the assignment amount and the total price. Again, total price is $55 minus $2,500. So when you go to closing, you will end up getting a, what's that, $7,500 check, because you already received an advancement of your $2,500, people. Hello. Now, earnest money will be refunded if seller defaults or title is not clear. New buyer accept all rights, obligation, and responsibility of the purchase contract executed by the original buyer and seller of the said property. So what you want to do is make it a win-win. Something probably happened. It's a cloud title. It's taking way too long on closing, so they back out, or you just cannot sell. You are obligated based on this contract to give back the earnest money. So it's always imperative for you to do your due diligence and cover yourself and make sure that this is a win for all three: your motivated seller, you, and your end buyer. All right. Now, again, special provision. If the motivated end buyer said, well, I want to, let's just use the car again for an example, to be in the sale and is not on the motivated side of the contract, you go back and you renegotiate and say, hey, we would like to keep the car, but it's not in our contract. Motivated seller, what do you think? They might come with a number. I speak to my end buyer. Hey, it's no longer 55. Now it's 65. Now minus 2,500, and then so on and so forth. It's really that simple. All right. So on this contract, original buyer's signature, which is yourself, you are the assigner, print, sign, date, address. That's it. And now you're selling your interest, your paper, to the new buyer. So the new buyer, sign, which is the assignee, print, date, email, and contact number. So now you actually, here's the good thing about having an assignment and requiring your end buyer to sign and leave their email address. So anytime you come up with a new deal, you can shoot out a blast on your own and build your build up. This is how you build your buyers list. If you get more information, you know what they like, you can shoot it over to them. You can make it exclusive. And those are little tips that I can show you on a later video. All right. So, we're done. Yeah. Did it hurt? It didn't hurt me. Oh, well, technically you're done, but not done. Because now both of these pieces of paper need to go to your title company or your attorney fee to make sure that they do their part, which is open up title and do a title search and start solving problems if the title is have some issues. Okay. Now, let's rewind. Now that we cover both of those contracts, let's talk about the maximum allowable offer. What is it and how can we figure that out? Again, so let's say you have a 100,000 on the ARV, and well, let me rewind. Let me back up. Back up. You need to find out how much the property will be once it's been repaired, okay? And 9 times out of 10, you do not have the MLS to run comparables, right? So you want to know the tricks of the trade. Well, DJ, I don't know how to, figure this out. One way you can is contact your local real estate agent to do comps for you. Sometimes they will expect something in return, or they might charge you. Another way is by using Zillow, the CAD or the County Appraisal District, as well, who else? Realtor.com. Do all 3 with that address in it and find out how many bedrooms, plus and minus of the square footage. Is there a car garage? There's no garage. Is it pier and beam? Is it slab? Do they have a basement? All the information that you need to get a accurate or very close to appraisal amount. So I did all that due diligence and I found out that it's going to be $100,000. I just use that as an even number. So 100,000 is not what we're going to give our end buyer, because that's called retail. We don't do retail. We do what? Wholesale. So the $100,000 is multiplied by 70%. And why 70%? Hard money lenders, private money lenders only give out 70% of the loan to value or the after repair value. So let's use that number of $100,000, multiply 70%, end up being $70,000. If I'm going too fast, just pause, rewind, and try that again. All right, so $70,000, that's what we have. Now we need to do a subtraction. We need to subtract the estimate cost of repairs. So you inside this property, you're walking around, you want to have your sheet, your contract estimating sheet that I actually have available, and you go in line by item. You write down the estimate for the roof, the estimate for the bathrooms, kitchens. It's like you are actually going to purchase, and let's say that that number collectively is $30,000. All right, so 70 minus 30 leaves 40, right? Now, if you have a standard, like myself, I have a set amount of what I'm not going below. This is how I'm able to scale and be a very efficient wholesaler. But I'm going to use a soft number and say $5,000. So 70 minus 30 minus 5,000 equals $35,000. That's your maximum allowable offer that you're offering to the motivated seller. Now, while you're there, they might feel a little uneasy that is not a lot, but you have to remind them that these are the things that we have to do as an investor to get it to the maximum amount of ARV, which is $100,000, okay? Once they agreed upon it, they might want to negotiate. Again, that's between you and your motivated seller to come with a happy medium. Once they become agreed upon, then that's when you put it on your purchase sales contract that they agreed upon, $35,000, right? So then the next step is you go back on your assignment contract. Once you find your end buyer, you put in your total fee, which is $40,000, not 70, 40. okay? Because we're going backwards. We're doing reverse and, well, we're going backwards. All right. So we're going from the maximum allowable offer, which is $35, plus the $5,000, which is your wholesale fee. That's $5,000. So that's $40,000 that need to be on your assignment contract. And that's it. That's the math. Okay? So whenever you market to your end buyer or looking for an end buyer, your advertisement will look like this. ARV is $100,000, purchase price $40,000. And there's more to it, but I'm just trying to make it very simplistic so you can understand. Or again, if you, like I said, if you have any questions, definitely on this part of the, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comment and I will respond back as quickly as possible. All right. Now that those two are done, we still got part 3 and part 4 that's coming up. Again, Tuesdays and Thursdays is when I post. So part 3 and part 4 this week, and I look forward to you guys take a look at it and learn more. Again, if you would love to receive these 2 contracts, I'm giving them away. It will be inside the description button or description section. If you have any more questions, please leave it in the comment section. Also, my email address is rehabinginhighheels@gmail.com, and I have no problem giving you a direct answer. Like I said, I'm an open book. So let's recap. We talked about the maximum allowable offer. We talked about the purchase contract. We also talked about the assignment contract. And there's additional items. It depends on if there's a probate, if you have to do heirship affidavit, if you got to do a memorandum. Again, take a look inside my description page to see those items. I hope I have provided enough content as well enough information for you to go out this week to get you a deal. If you do, please tag me on Rehab in High Heels on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, and post your picture of this contract, sign, seal, and deliver, and I will give you something totally off record, but you got to do that first. I totally enjoy talking to you guys, and thanks for watching. Bye.